This Guy's Garage. Like and subscribe.
That pursuant to Standing Order 108-1A, the committee, 1, send for all receipts and invoices in the possession of the Office of the Prime Minister, the Privy Council Office, and any other implicated government departments associated with the September 2022 trip to the United Kingdom by the Prime Minister of Canada, including for all individuals accompanying the Prime Minister. A, that these documents be submitted in both redacted and unredacted form to the clerk of the committee in both official languages no later than Monday, March 20th, 2023 at 12 p.m., and that the clerk be instructed to forward the unredacted version to members of the committee. B, that these documents be published on the committee's website immediately following the redaction of all personal information in the aforementioned documents by the Office of Law Clerk and Parliamentary Counsel. Number 2, send for an unredacted copy of the completed access to information request A-2022-02366 from the Department of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Development. That this document be submitted to the clerk of the committee in both official languages within 24 hours of the adoption of this motion and be distributed to members of the committee. And B, that this document be published on the committee's website immediately following its distribution to committee members. Thank you, Chair. It's not global affairs, that's not.
Thank you, Ms. Cusi. This is one that was put on notice a couple of days ago, so it is in order. It was a continuation of the one we were discussing last week. We'll start debate on it. Ms. Cusi?
Sure.
If you wish.
Yeah, thank you very much. We have many times in this committee, as well as in the House, asked for documents in an unredacted form. They have not arrived or appeared as such in many cases. Canadians have a right to have this information regarding this trip, which the Prime Minister and his colleagues took in September of 2022. And as such, I submitted a motion previously, but I am resubmitting it upon the advisement of the clerk with more specific information, or excuse me, more specific direction and instruction to receive the information, which both myself, I believe all members of this committee and Canadians would like, Mr. Chair.
I'm an MP from British Columbia, and as someone who had the lowest travel expenses out of all BC MPs in the last reporting period from 2015 to 2019, for me and my family, this is a big issue for me. In fact, I work really hard to keep my costs low, and I replaced 2 Conservative MPs that were always in the top 5 for British Columbia and Canada. So I think it's interesting to hear Conservatives bring forward motions like this, and I do want to talk about Prime Minister's trips. Like the Prime Minister Harper spent $1 million on his Middle East trip to, back when he was the Prime Minister, $65,000 to do a Keystone XL advertising trip to New York, included, what? It says here, coffee services, $6,600. $3.4 million for an Arctic trip. Between him and Governor David Johnston, they spent $4 million traveling on jets over 3 years. When he went to the World Economic Forum, he spent $636,585, pretty close to the Prime Minister Trudeau's $678,000. And Senator Wallin, he defended her budget of $350,000 for travel. It's a lot for me when mine was $25,000 for a year to travel all the way from Vancouver Island here 20 times. And we know the former Justice Minister took a helicopter ride, which cost taxpayers a lot of money. So I think if we're going to look at this, I want some comparables. I think it's good for us to in support of this motion. I think we should add a trip from the previous Prime Minister so we get a good look. And Prime Minister Harper went to South Africa to pay tribute to Nelson Mandela, who was a hero to many of us, and I'm glad he went to represent Canada. But I would like to have a same analysis done. Prime Minister Harper's trip to South Africa to get an idea of what the spending looks like, this out of control travel spending between prime ministers.
I'd like to move a dilatory motion that we move this part of the debate, which I welcome very much, into the later part of the committee business. And if we have to have a discussion to make sure that that part of the committee business is in camera, as it's in public, I don't have any problem. But my request is, can we please move this part of the debate to the committee business? I also am missing two colleagues that, based on the web instruction, were staying back to acknowledge one of our colleagues who's given to Canada for over 14 years.
Well, originally I was going to ask to get the Liberals' opinion on this. I feel we should just hash it out now. I don't really feel it's going to be similar to the Canadian elections, have any significant impact in the outcome of the vote, with a couple of people not being here. So I feel I think we should just move forward. I think we should just get it done. So, if we could move to voting on the amendment and then voting on the motion, Chair, that would sort of be my preferred
So that's
method.
the only lines I would add. So that would make it easy for this motion to include those other two trips. And I hope that all colleagues would be wanting to see a comparable of those two trips, that we don't have any understanding of what those
Mr.
costs
Johns,
were.
can I interrupt for a second? Can I get you to just read that back again for our clerk to follow
sure.
along?
So that, that basically, in the first paragraph, after, I can read it. I'll just read number 1. Send for all receipts and invoices in the possession of the Office of the Prime Minister, the Privy Council Office, and any other implicated government departments associated with the September 2022 trip to the United Kingdom by the Prime Minister of Canada, including for all individuals accompanying the Prime Minister, and for the trip and for the trip for the Prime Minister Harper's trip in December 2013 to honor the late Nelson Mandela, and Prime Minister Harper's 2009 trip to China that included CEOs. And that would be it.
Don't want to do that. We had agreed that we can have that discussion during the in-camera, but if not, I'll move the dilatory motion to adjourn debate.
Motion to adjourn. We'll start a vote. Madam Clerk?
Motion to adjourn debate. Mr. Baines.
I vote yes.
Ms. Latancio.
Hello?
Ms. Latancio, I need to see your, yep, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Do you have a headset?
Okay, let me put one on. Can you go to the others?
Mr. Juari.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzmirchik. Mr. Kuzmirchik? Sorry.
Support.
Ms. Thompson. Support. Mr. Davidson.
Vote no.
Ms. Block.
No.
Ms. Kuzi.
No.
Ms. Vignola. Madame Vignola.
Oui.
Mr. Jones.
No.
1, 2, 3. Ms. Latancio. Sorry.
Chair,
I'll do a thumbs up.
I'm sorry. I don't think we can recognize someone who's not wearing the proper headset.
Can I vote with a thumbs up?
No.
No, we don't. I don't
Mr.
believe,
Chair,
no.
that's been recognized in the House
We went
of
through
Commons.
this, but that's been
Yeah.
through the House. We just went through this in committee today, in a chair committee, about not recognizing people to speak without, like, this is, I'm sorry, but we've been through this for 2 years. We know it's affecting But I will double check with our clerk, though.
Mr.
Hold
Chair,
on.
if you don't
Let
mind.
me, I will double check with the chair. Let me,
Okay.
2 seconds.
Oh, dear.
Recognize. Yes, this is right from from Speaker Rhoda, that without a headset, you cannot participate. So I strongly urge you to go find a headset. It's been 2 years now. I'm sorry, this is ridiculous.
Excuse me.
Mr. Jari is right that they do have the vote, so it is adjourned. But please, I urge everyone to get a headset.